As an African man, as a core African man, the only thing you should be praying for is a marriage that will work. Just pray to God to give you a marriage that will work for you, a marriage that will last the test of time, a marriage that will be void of divorce. I think that should be our earnest prayer as African men, and not to dive into the case of Hakimi. You know, one thing with Africans is that we like to hack into other people's lifestyle, especially the Westerners, but still can't do it better. I didn't want to say anything concerning this issue initially because I don't like to deal on trends. Anything that is trending online, or whatever story it may be, I don't really like to be part of it or start airing my view concerning them. But I think this one has gotten to a point where I need to say something, because lately I had seen even some men that I used to hold on a high esteem. I had seen them ranting over this issue, saying all sorts of things, trying to cajole the women and trying to sing praises for Hakimi, because we all learned that everything he has was registered in his mother's name, and because the wife fight for divorce, and then she's just losing everything. She's almost losing everything. So most African men are now praising and hailing Hakimi for registering everything he has in his mother's name. It may have worked for Hakimi, but the question is, would that work for you too? As an African man, is that what your own culture stipulates? We know that so many women comes into the life of a man just to devour everything the man has taken time and years to build. So many women are disaster themselves. So many women does not in any way make effort to unify families when they come into it. So many of them always come to divide families, to separate sons from mothers, or brother from sisters and brothers, and all that. But that does not necessarily mean that there are no women who are still better. As long as I'm concerned, there are women who are better. So you can only do that to a woman who was never part of your success, or who was never there in your story on your odd times. But a woman that has taken time to build with you to that level does not deserve such treatment as Hakimi did to his wife. The wife may not have supported him in any way. That is why we always encourage women to support their men in any way they can. Because most of you who are running after men that are already made, this is the way they will treat you at the end of the day. This is the same way some of them will treat you at the end of the day. Because you are never there in their success story. You did not help them to build their success to the level they are. So you are just part of the story in their success. So they see you as part of the properties they were able to acquire by virtue of their success. And as such, they can throw you out at any time. They can mess you up at any time. But you cannot build with a man from scratch to finishing. And at the end of the day, the man will register everything in his mother's name. It is not done. No African man who has conscience will ever do that. So it is not time for us to start clapping for Hakimi. Yes, it may have worked for him, but if other men from the Western world try to do such thing, it still may not work for them. Their own mothers may not be as prudent and as judicious as Hakimi's mother. And one problem with us Africans is that we are dullards. We are all dullards. We are very dull in our way of understanding things. If you listen to Hakimi's story, he did not do this thing just to get at his wife. There was no speculation anywhere or any confirmation that he already had it in mind that there was pre-existing intent of divorcing with the wife in the present day, which made him to file everything in his mother's name. From his story, he said that during his upbringing that his parents suffered very much. He came from an average family and they suffered a whole lot, even to the extent that his parents had to give up everything just for him to succeed. Even his own siblings had to step down, and his parents carried him along just for him to succeed. So he did this thing just to pay his parents back. This is just his own way of paying back. This is his own gesture of paying back his parents what they did to him, how they made him succeed and see the light of the day. He did not literally do this thing just because he already had it in mind that he was going to get married tomorrow and he was going to divorce his wife, and that his wife was going to file divorce and want to share his properties with him. No. This young man had a different intent in mind. His intentions for registering everything under his mother's name is quite different from what all of us are brandishing today, what we are spelling out and trying to make all manner of story out of it. So as an African man, I think what you should be praying for is a marriage that will work for you. Just pray for your marriage to work. The type of marriage we have today is not like the type our parents had. Those olden days that our parents were married until we got to this level. I tell you, most of us who are praising Hakimi for this singular act, if our parents had dived into the type of marriage that we are living on today, I bet you most of us wouldn't have been groomed. Nobody would have been there to nurture us to the stage, to the level we are today. It is because our parents were into marriages that really worked for them. They were the people who really practiced this thing that we all used to do on the altar. We used to say, for better, for worse. Our parents, they really tried as much as they could to make sure that they head on to their marriages. And as such, most of us, we are groomed to this level we are. But what is happening today? Every day you hear cases of divorce, marriages are scattering, a lot of things are happening to marriages today. People are no longer going into marriage for the sake of love and commitment. People are going into marriage maybe because they just want to go in there and fight for divorce tomorrow so that what the other partner has will be divided into two. This is one of the factors that is killing our marriages today. So I think as an African man, the only thing you should be praying for is a marriage that will work for you. Just pray for your marriage to work. Nobody should pray for divorce. It has happened to Hakimi, but will not happen as such to every other